Welcome to Celestial Zodiac. This is your weekly horoscope for Sunday, April 26th to Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. This week continues the steady, grounded energy that began with the sun's move into Taurus. But now there's a stronger sense of settling into what you've started. The urgency from earlier weeks has faded, replaced by a more deliberate pace that asks for consistency, patience, and follow-through. This is where ideas, decisions, and actions begin to take root and show their potential. But only if they're supported with intention. There may be moments where things feel slow or even repetitive, but this isn't stagnation. It's stabilization. This week is about building trust in your process, staying committed to what matters, and allowing progress to unfold in a way that actually lasts. Aries. This week brings your focus towards stability, especially around finances, resources, and what you truly value. After a period of fast movement and instinctive decisions, you're now being asked to slow down and think more long-term. Early in the week, you may still feel the urge to act quickly, but you'll start to notice that not everything needs an immediate response. Midweek brings a moment of clarity, particularly around where your energy has been wasted or where something hasn't been as productive as you thought. This realization helps you shift your focus toward what actually supports you. You may begin making more deliberate choices, especially when it comes to time, money, or effort. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of grounding and control. You're no longer chasing momentum, you're building something that can last. Taurus. You're stepping fully into your season, and with that comes a deeper sense of self-awareness and presence. This isn't about rushing forward or forcing outcomes. It's about moving with quiet confidence and intention. Early in the week, you may feel a subtle shift internally, as if you're becoming more connected to what you truly want and how you want to move forward. There's a steadiness building that others may begin to notice as well. Midweek brings clarity around your direction, helping you see what's worth your time and what isn't. You may feel more certain in your decisions and less influenced by outside pressure. There's also an opportunity to set the tone for how you want to show up moving forward. By the weekend, your energy feels grounded, focused, and aligned. This is about owning your space and building something that reflects who you really are. Gemini. This week continues to pull your energy inward, encouraging reflection, rest, and mental reset. After a period of heightened activity and constant input, you may feel the need to step back and create space. Early in the week, this may feel slightly uncomfortable, especially if you're used to staying busy or distracted. However, there's a lot happening beneath the surface that needs your attention. Midweek brings an important realization. Something you've been processing begins to make sense, helping you see a situation more clearly. This isn't about taking immediate action, but about understanding what's been unclear. You may also find yourself becoming more selective about what you engage with, whether that's conversations, information, or people. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of clarity and emotional balance. You're preparing for your next phase, but first you're creating the space to enter it with intention. Cancer. This week shifts your focus toward your goals, your future, and the people connected to both, but now with a more grounded and realistic perspective. Early in the week, you may feel the urge to reconnect with certain plans or people, but you're approaching things with more intention than before. You're no longer saying yes to everything. You're starting to become more selective with your time and energy. Midweek brings clarity around who truly supports your direction and who may be holding you back, even subtly. This realization helps you refine your circle and your priorities. You may also begin to focus more on long-term goals rather than short-term distractions. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of alignment and purpose. You're not just hoping things work out, You're actively choosing a future that supports you. Leo, this week brings your attention firmly onto your career, responsibilities, and long-term direction, but now with a more steady and practical approach. Early in the week, you may feel a sense of pressure to step up or make decisions that carry weight, whether from external expectations or your own standards. However, as the days progress, you begin to realize that rushing won't give you the results you're looking for. Midweek brings clarity around your priorities, helping you see what truly deserves your effort and what has been draining your energy without meaningful return. You may find yourself adjusting your approach, setting firmer boundaries, or committing more fully to a specific path. This is where focus replaces overwhelm. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of confidence and direction. You're no longer reacting, you're leading with intention and building something that can actually last. Virgo, this week encourages you to expand your perspective, but in a way that's grounded, intentional, and aligned with your long-term growth. Early in the week, you may feel drawn towards something new, an idea, opportunity, or direction that offers a sense of possibility. However, you're not rushing into it the way you might have before. There's a stronger filter in place now. Midweek brings clarity that helps you distinguish between what's truly aligned with your path and what may simply be a distraction or temporary excitement. This could come through a conversation, a realization, or even a situation that challenges your assumptions. You may also begin refining plans related to education, travel, or a broader life direction. By the weekend, your energy feels more focused and grounded. You're not just exploring, you're choosing a path that has real potential to grow into something meaningful. Libra, this week takes you deeper, shifting your focus toward emotional, financial, or shared situations that require honesty and attention. Early in the week, you may feel the weight of something that's been lingering beneath the surface, especially if balance has been off for some time. You may have tried to keep things smooth or avoid discomfort, but that approach no longer works. Midweek brings clarity, helping you see exactly what needs to change and how to approach it in a more practical way. This could involve setting boundaries, restructuring a shared responsibility, or finally addressing something you've been putting off. There's a growing sense that facing it directly gives you more control, not less. By the weekend, you begin to feel more grounded and empowered. What once felt overwhelming is now something you can manage and move forward from. Scorpio, this week places your relationships front and center, but with a stronger focus on stability, commitment, and long-term alignment. Early in the week, you may feel the need to address something directly, especially if there's been imbalance, uncertainty, or unspoken tension. Avoidance won't feel like an option anymore. As the week progresses, you begin to see things more clearly, particularly in how a connection is functioning over time. Midweek brings a moment of clarity, whether through a conversation or a realization, that helps you understand where things truly stand. You may recognize what you need moving forward and whether it's being met. This is about making grounded decisions, not emotional reactions. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of alignment. Whether you're strengthening a connection or redefining it, you feel more stable in your position. Sagittarius, this week shifts your focus toward your daily life, routines, and overall well-being, but now with a more grounded and practical approach. Early in the week, you may start to notice where things feel out of balance, whether it's your schedule, your workload, or even your physical energy. There's a growing awareness that you can't rely on bursts of motivation alone. Midweek brings clarity around what's actually working and what isn't, helping you identify where adjustments are needed. You may feel motivated to reorganize your routine, improve your habits, or simplify your approach. This isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about consistency and sustainability. By the weekend, you begin to feel more stable and in control. The small changes you've made are starting to support you in a more lasting way. Capricorn. This week brings a grounded sense of creativity, confidence, and personal expression, but with a stronger focus on making something real. Early in the week, you may feel inspired or drawn towards something that excites you, whether it's a creative project, a personal interest, or even a connection. However, this isn't just about enjoyment. It's about recognizing the potential for something more. Midweek brings clarity around whether this is worth your time and energy, helping you decide if you want to commit or move on. You may begin to take something more seriously, shifting from casual interest to intentional effort. This is where discipline starts to support what you enjoy. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of direction and follow-through. What once felt like an idea is beginning to take shape into something meaningful and lasting. Aquarius. This week turns your attention inward, focusing on your home, your personal life, and your emotional foundation. Early in the week, you may feel the need to slow down or retreat slightly, especially if things have felt unsettled or out of balance. There may be something beneath the surface that needs your attention, whether it's related to your environment, family, or emotional well-being. Midweek brings clarity around what needs to change in order to create a stronger sense of stability. This could involve setting boundaries, making practical adjustments, or addressing something you've been avoiding. You're beginning to see that small, intentional changes can have a lasting impact. By the weekend, there's a greater sense of grounding and relief. You feel more secure, more centered, and more supported in your own space. Pisces. This week highlights communication, learning, and your overall mindset, but now with a more focused and intentional approach. Early in the week, you may feel mentally active, but also more selective about what you engage with. You're no longer interested in distractions. You want clarity and meaning. There may be something you've been thinking about or trying to understand that starts to take shape. Midweek brings a moment of clarity, helping you organize your thoughts and see a situation more clearly. You may feel more confident expressing yourself, especially in conversations where you previously held back. This is about saying what you mean with intention. By the weekend, there's a stronger sense of direction in your thinking. You're not just processing ideas. You're turning them into something clear, grounded, and meaningful. As this week comes to a close, what you've been building begins to feel more real, more steady, and more aligned. The progress you've made may not be dramatic, but it's meaningful, and more importantly, it's lasting. This is a reminder that consistency creates results, even when it doesn't feel immediate. What you've chosen to focus on now has the potential to grow into something solid if you continue to nurture it. Stay grounded in your direction, trust your process, and allow things to develop at their natural pace. Thank you for watching Celestial Zodiac. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear this message.